Happy Saturday, Florentine Quack. Welcome. Welcome, 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 ladies. Who do we have in? I have the chat pulled up on my phone so that hopefully I'm going to be able to follow along. If you would, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I'm going to just dive right in because I literally have heard over the last since the launch, I got something in my eye. Launch of the Dooney and Bourke loyalty program, I have literally heard from a dozen of you. I had DMs on Instagram. I had a couple of emails. I got text messages from those of you that have my personal contact information. Hi, Mrs. Q. Hi, phenomenal personality. So I heard you loud and clear. Everybody was like, "What do you think? Did you see it? Did you know it was coming? What do you think about it? Are you gonna talk about it? Can we get a sip and cuss?" So there were all kinds of emotions tied into the launch of this program. So what I'm going to share with you is that in my little handy dandy notebook that I use to take my notes for all of my lives. Y'all remember these notebooks, right? I have taken 10 pages, don't mind my handwriting, but 10 pages of notes and so on and so on and so on and so on of this program. And I am going to give it a report card. Thank you, Elizabeth. Um, if you think that I'm reading or looking down, I am because I did not want to miss any of the points for this program. There's a lot of information to cover. Um, so I'm going to jump in. But before I do, I ask one, that you hit the thumbs up. Two, if you are not already subscribed to this channel, and you likely are because you got the notification, that if you are not subscribed, that you subscribe and that you turn on your notification bell. And then in the comments, based on what you have seen, read, heard, understand of the loyalty program, I'd like for you in the comments to give it a letter grade. And you can use pluses or minuses, but A through F, teachers don't give E's for grade, so skip that. But based on what you know right now, before I dive into any of my thoughts on the program, what I'd like to do is see in the comments what your rating or grade is of the program. All right. Suz is giving it an A. Do we have anyone else that's going to participate in the comments? I'd ask that all 18 of you drop a comment to let me know what your rating scale, your grade is for the program based on what you have seen so far. All right. So this is what we're going to do this afternoon. In addition to your comments, which y'all know I love, and it's great in engagement and interaction with each other. But after each one of these points that I cover, I'm going to ask you to grade it, right? So I thought I had a Sharpie here at my desk, but I think it's back in the kitchen drawer. So I'm going to ask you to grade it. And whenever you see that, I want you to drop your grade in the comments. And it can be cumulative, like as we covered each one of these things, you could start at an A and then adjust, with the pluses or minuses, or change the letter grade. Or you can choose to just grade that particular section. But at the end, I'm going to ask you the same question after we've kind of talked through it. How would you rate the overall program after we spend our time together this afternoon talking through it. So that is my request. All right. So again, I heard from 12 of you. I literally could not get to the details of this program fast enough because every time I got ready to dive in, I would get a DM, I would get a text, somebody would email me, somebody would send me a screenshot. I started getting messages pretty early in the morning on lunch day, and at the very last message that I received was 1 a.m. the following day. I'm not gonna throw that person under the bus. They know who they are. But I really wanted to go through the program on my own and form my own opinion and not really be swayed by the thoughts of other people and what they understood the program to be. I would imagine based on the variety of scale, of grading scale, we've got everything from an A to just a flat out C, got a B, got a C plus in one case, that most people are kind of all over the board with this one. So let's grade it as a community. And I want us to grade it as a community because if you recall, this idea was born in the YouTube space, right? So Dooney can say whatever it wants. It can claim it, reject it, deny it, sit on it and lay and turn it into an egg. But this idea of a loyalty program is something that we have talked about within the community as being something that was absolutely necessary, particularly because once you go Dooney, you do go loony, and you buy multiples, and the quality is just not met by many other brands or any other brand at that price point. So in essence, I feel that we are grading today what we requested from the brand and how we as consumers or as loyalists, as they are calling the program, how we feel about what their interpretation is of what we asked for. So, the first is it's an effort. It's an effort from Dooney, in my opinion, based on the feedback, the surveys that we completed now many moons ago, that they have finally delivered a program in the realm of acknowledging frequent purchases or returning customers. Um, it is free to join. But based on them stating that, what I'd like to know is one, and I'd like for you to state that, right? One, would you have paid a membership fee to join this program? That's question number one. Would you have paid to join this program? Let's just say it was a nominal fee. Let's just say it was $10. Would you have paid to join this program? All right. I see nothing but no's so far. So here's for me what, when I think about whether or not I would pay for a program, it is whether or not the benefits of the program will surpass the amount of the enrollment fee. My second question is, have you paid for any loyalty programs? Any loyalty program, any brand, have you paid to be a part of any of those programs? That's question number two. All right. So we're in agreement that if there was a charge for the program, we would not have paid it, regardless of how nominal it was. And two, that as a frequent customer or frequent user of loyalty programs, that you are not currently paying for any loyalty programs. All right. So According to the terms and conditions agreement, the program started in February of 2020. However, purchases that were made before enrollment, before you were registered, do not count towards the program. And there lies my first critique of the program is that I did not have to enroll. Just like Mrs. Q shared during For Real Friday last night, when she went into her account to sign up for the loyalty program, my dashboard, just like her dashboard, was already populated and my points were already loaded. Okay? Now, the program, again, the document does not have an effective date on it. But what I do know is that I have made purchases from both Dooney and Bourke and ILD since February the 20th, and those purchases are not reflected in my balance. So I'm going to keep moving. All right. The program in itself. How do you earn points? All right. Dooney outlines 10 ways for you to earn points. All right. I'm going to run through each one of these, but they outline on their website. There are 10 ways for you to earn points. I'm going to share with you what the points are, how you get the points, and my thoughts on the ways you earn. All right. So the first is you get 25 points for joining. Here's my question. If I was already enrolled, like if I was automatically enrolled because I didn't have to do anything to see my dashboard when I signed in, was I awarded the 25 points for joining? It only looks like one of my purchases is reflected. Not everything back to February, but if there are 25 points that you get for agreeing to their terms and conditions, if you don't have to do anything to enroll, do you get those 25 points? And the terms and conditions explicitly state in the first paragraph that if you do not agree to these terms, do not enroll in the program. And if at any point, let me say this, if at any point you get pissed about the program and you unenroll and change your mind and decide to re-enroll, you start over. There is no reinstatement. There is no reconnecting your account. There's no getting credit for the history for the purchases that you've already made. Once you're in, you're in. When you're out, you're out. And if you opt out and then change your mind, you start back over at 0. So the first way is you get 25 points for joining. The second is you make a purchase and your level of loyalists in the program will determine which program multiplier you are qualified for. All right? And that multiplier and your purchase amount pre-tax after all of the discounts have been deducted will determine the number of points that are assigned to your account. All right? So, based on what you've heard so far, grade it. Because that's just the end of page 1. Grade what you've heard so far, page 1 of the notes. I'm going to get the chat pulled back up. While you are all grading, I'm going to say hello to Says What, Lucinda Quimley, Cara Banks, Mrs. Q, Florentine Quack, Kimberly Mines, Mo Knows Beauty, Living Little Kim Life, Elizabeth Burton, Penny Berry, Elizabeth Burton, Jan Mills, who else? And Ingrid Scott. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Phenomenal personality, Mrs. Q. I think I'm repeating names now. Delise Harvey, Samaria Robertson. I'm trying to go back as far as it will let me, and I am at the top. All right. So let me see what the grades are. So we have, okay, so no A's after page 1 of notes. We are at a B, C's, and C minuses. All right. All right, we're on page 2. You also get 25 points if you write a review based on a purchase. All right. And as I have shared with you on my channel before, I will never, you hear me? Never again in life on Dooney or ILD write a review for purchase. And I refuse to do it because I've done it in the past, critiquing the bags, or critiquing the leather, or critiquing the size, as well as talking about what I absolutely love and just what I do on my channel, who the bag would be a great purchase for and who should avoid it. And they were not posted. And they sent me an email stating that they would not, because they were not what they view to be favorable ratings. Even though I never rated a purchase less than a 5. If I'm going to rate it, it's either going to be a 1 or a 5. But none of the reviews that I wrote were rated less than a 5. Most of them were what I would consider to be balanced, right? So stating that if you have an issue with a shoulder drop, just be aware, much shorter shoulder drop. You know, as a consumer, if that's a problem for you, probably not the bag. They didn't post them. So I will never get those 25 points because I will not waste any more of the time that I have on God's green earth writing a review for this brand. All right. The next is you get 15 points if you connect with the brand on Facebook. So here's my next critique and my next question. And that is, if you are already connected with the brand on Facebook, like probably 100% of everyone in the chat this evening, how do you get those 15 points? And if you use a different email to sign in your Dooney and Bourke account or your ILD account versus the email address or handle that you use on the various social media platforms, how does the system reconcile those records? And I don't have a lot of faith in Dooney's reconciliation records, but it's a question, right? If I'm already enrolled or already linked with them on Facebook, how do I get my 15 points? And if it consists of me having to unfollow and refollow again for 15 points, I'm not exerting any effort to do that. I shouldn't have to work to do that. And as we move through this program, based on what I've read, my understanding of what they have outlined about their loyalist program, I think it will become very clear to you why 25 points for writing a review, or 15 points for connecting, unconnecting, and reconnecting with them on Facebook is not worth it to me. You also get 15 points for following on Twitter. Same question. What if I'm already following the brand? How do I get those 15 points? Do I have to unfollow and refollow? And no, these are not major things, right? I'm on my phone all the time, but these are things that are not clearly outlined in the documents, all right? And then there are 15 points on Instagram. 15 for Instagram, 15 for Twitter, 15 for Facebook. But what if you are already following the brand on all of those platforms? How do you then recoup or earn those 45 points? Okay. All right. The next is, and the language that they put on this, an attorney should have probably questioned it, but we'll go with it. You get 10 points 2 times a month for posting on Instagram using the hashtag Dooney and Bourke. But again, my question is, if your email address linked to your ILD or .com account is different from your handle or email address that you are using for your social media accounts, how does their platform know to award those points to you? I just think that it's going to be way more involved and way more complicated than unfortunately this brand has sophistication to handle. If they were talking about leather, I think they would be the masters of it, but we have all had concerns and issues about technology, or rather the lack thereof, for this brand. So I'm just curious about how they are going to keep up with everybody across multiple social media platforms and award points within a loyalty program. So that is the end of page 2. So I'm curious, how would you grade it? All right, see the grades are dropping. We're at C's and D's right now. C minus, D, 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 C, C minus, D. All right, Suz is going to test it out. She's still hanging at a B. She's going to test it out. All right, Suz, I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to sway you, because I've got some other stuff I want to point out. All right, so let's move on. We are now on page 3. All right, you earn 100 points if you subscribe to their newsletter. Does Dooney have a newsletter? Are they talking about like providing them your email address so that they can send promotions? Are they talking about the quarterly lookbooks? What newsletter? Because I attempted to select it because I want my 100 points, and it didn't do anything. And I did it on both my cell phone and I tried it on my iPad because I thought maybe it's not exactly mobile friendly. I have not tried it on my laptop yet, but I am going to try it. But when they say connect and do and earn your points, I'm like, bring it on. I'm stuck at home just like everybody else right now. If I'm gonna earn something, I have time. I have time to do it right now. Let me go ahead and hit all of these options and give you my information so that I'm done with it. All right, so that was the next point. You also get 100 points for providing your birth month and date. Not the year, the month and the date. I have attempted to do that 17 times on 2 different devices, no lie. It never goes through. It never gives me a confirmation. It doesn't acknowledge that they already have that information. But this birth month and date is supposed to be so that they can provide you with your birthday reward. But none of these features, the connecting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, signing up for the newsletter, entering your birth date, none of them appear to be active. I'm curious if anyone has had success with that going through, or if there's anyone that is willing to try it while we're in the live and just comment what your response is, or whether it went through. Please, please, please let us know. But I have tried them all with zero success. So again, a critique is if that, and I'm going to try to keep the language clear because I don't want it to get, I don't want my message to get lost in my frustration. But if those features are not yet active on the app, then put coming soon. Ulta and Sephora do it all the time. Or don't list them at all. And when you have it ready to actually fully go live, and I'm sure there's somebody that works for the company is thinking, I told them that they don't listen to us. But if the first thing is just provide us with your birth date and you get 100 points, then just launch that. Then send me another email or launch it on the dashboard so that once I connect with you on Facebook, I'm able to get my next 15 points instead of rolling it out and it not being fully functional. So y'all make me feel better that it's not my device, that it's not my internet, that it's not user error, that you all have also attempted to earn those points with no success. All right, next is you earn 200 points for making 4 purchases per year. The terms and agreement for the program do not indicate if those 200 points are awarded at the end of the year that you've made 4 purchases, if it's awarded at the time that you make the 4th purchase. It doesn't indicate if you earn 50 points per purchase or for the up to 4 purchases. It doesn't indicate that you're eligible for 100 points per half of the year. It's just not spelled out. It's not spelled out how and when do you get these 200 points. And I'm going to put some of the blame here, not just on the marketing department, because ultimately the marketing department owns this program, but I am also going to put some blame on the legal department because they are responsible for reviewing terms and agreements and making sure that the language is clear because it's binding. At least it's supposed to be in a court of law, that those conditions are binding. And it should be written in a way that, yeah, it gives the company wiggle room, but there are also certain expectations that are outlined for the consumer through those terms and conditions that you should be able to understand what you are entering into. I should know whether or not I want to agree to these terms and conditions by being able to read through the legal language and understand what I am getting into. And I know most people don't read that stuff. You probably have signed umpteen thousand cell phone contracts, probably hundreds of thousands of agreements on websites where you accept whatever the terms and conditions are because you're trying to do whatever it is. But as a consumer, let me rephrase that. As a consumer, I want to know, what am I agreeing to? Am I agreeing for you to be able to call my house phone, my cell phone at work? Am I agreeing that you're going to be able to sell my personal information, that you're going to be able to distribute my email address? What are you actually going to do with my birth date? What are the guidelines around when I should receive my birthday reward, so on and so forth. So I'm extremely disappointed that there's not clarity around one of the second to your purchase history. Earning the 200 points for making 4 purchases during the course of the year is the largest area where you can accumulate points under this program. All right, so this next part, let me tell you, I like this next piece, and I'm going to tell you why I like it. This next piece is the value of, the increment at which you earn your points under the program. So, for the first level, I guess they're calling them insiders, you earn 1 point for every dollar spent. For ambassadors, you earn 1.25 points for every dollar spent. And as a loyalist, you earn 1.5 points for every dollar spent. I like the 3 tiers. I like the point values. And I like them because they are the same as Sephora. I am completely okay with this scale because it's a scale similar to another program that I am extremely loyal to. So although they could have been much higher, the rates at the multipliers could have been much lower, I am very pleased with the multipliers for each of the earning levels or each of the loyalty levels. So that is page 3 of my notes. So let's grade it. And it seems like I have lost my chat. All right. I see a bunch of C's. Suz is holding firm to her B. All right. Let's go to the next bucket. All right. So, points are redeemable in increments of 100. So you must have a minimum of 100 points in order to be able to redeem. I currently have 150 points in my account and have a cart right now that would take me between the ambassador level and the loyalist level. I have not pulled the trigger on it yet, but that is because I wanted to deep dive this program first and get my thoughts out so that my blood pressure would normalize, and then I could get the good endorphins to make me feel better once I pull the trigger. So that's why. But eBates is still good, so I'm gonna pull it. All right. For those of you that have not figured out yet where to find it, you can see the balance of your loyalty level on the loyalty or loyal list dashboard, and you must be signed into your account in order to see that information. That's typical of any account. However, they have not specifically labeled what the what your current level is, so that you can make sure that it's changed, and that you can start checking your multiplier for purchases and things like that. All right, so next, my biggest issue with this program, which earns it a grade that I am not going to reveal at this point, is that how do I want to say this? It's not clear what you and I know some of you have gone in like I have for purchases, or to see the conversion. So, but just bear with me, because when I was reading through the contract, I was not trying to make a purchase, and I was capturing my notes. So at that point in the review of the program, it was not clear what I get as the consumer in exchange for my 100 points. So, for example, at Sephora, I can choose for 100 points a sample of a product, a deluxe sample of a product from a brand that I want to try. That I get 2 free samples for every order that I place if I so choose those samples. It's also an option that I can select a 250 point option, or sample, which is different from the smaller 100 point perk samples. I also can decide to go all in and cash in 500 points for a deluxe set of samples from a specific brand. At this point, reading what are the binding terms and agreements for this particular program, it does not state what it is. And matter of fact, nowhere does it state in the terms and conditions what you actually get. All right. You can use your unicorn points and Dooney Pay on the same transaction. Somebody grab a pen, piece of paper, an envelope. Write this down on the bottom of an envelope, because I promise you, the more I dig into this, the more contradictions you're going to hear and see. And this is a point that I do not want you to forget about. That in the terms and conditions, I'm calling them unicorn points at this point of my review, because it did not state anywhere what my 100 point value translates into. But you can use your points plus Dooney Pay on the same transaction. Please don't forget that point, because it is in writing on their site. So at this point, I want you to grade it. All right. So next, points are accumulated across all of the purchase platforms, including purchases made on the Dooney app.com, ILD, as well as at the outlet store. You do have to provide your email address at the time of purchase in the outlet store in order for your account to be credited with these points. Also, if you use a different email address on the app or .com or ILD than what you use to sign into your regular account, then again, the question is, how do you recoup or recover those points if you have different email addresses, for example, on .com than you do on ILD? All right. Points However, at this point in the review, can only be redeemed online. I repeat, points may only be redeemed online. Now, there is another point or place in the documents that actually say that they can also be redeemed on the app. So on the app or .com, but not at an outlet store. So you cannot go in and use the value that you have on your dashboard for an in-store purchase. Only redeemable online. And I guess technically the app would be considered on, no, apps are not considered online. Apps are separate from online. That's why people say the mobile site versus an app. All right. So next, because of Dooney's technology and the lack of speed that I believe it will take to reconcile points earned and redeemed, because they give themselves their words, not mine, they give themselves 72 hours to post or deduct points. Now, mind you, Sephora grants and redeems points immediately. And my bank, as soon as I swipe my debit card, that amount, that transaction is immediately posted as not being available in my account balance. But it's going to take Dooney 3 days to redo this, or to do this with your points. Now, here's the kicker. You can have a negative balance on your rewards program. A negative balance. So, slow systems and returns can have you in the hole with your points. Or shopping the way we do, where you find something that's better or cheaper on .com than on ILD, when you make that purchase, those points are not going to immediately be available for you to use for your next point, because they will go in a pending status and will not be available to you to redeem until your order has shipped. So my opinion is that with this loyalty program, I don't like that part. Either I have points or I don't. And the only time there should be a delay in reconciling points is if I am making a return by mail. By mail, as opposed to returning an item that I purchased in the store that I am then returning to the store. Otherwise, if I make a purchase today, my points should be available today, because you, Dooney, should know whether or not you have the inventory available and if you're going to be able to fulfill the quantities that are ordered. So again, this is a systems issue, and because their systems have not been great, we as the consumer in this loyalty program will be constantly playing catch up or chase for these unicorn points that they are going to award to you based on these 3-tier levels. All right, so grade it. If you are enjoying this deep dive and you have not already hit the thumbs up for this video, I'm going to kindly ask that you do so, and that you drop your grade in the comments and play along so that we can all see how we feel about this program, because if they're going to continue to use our community for feedback and ideas, then one, I'd like for them to get it right. Two, they should have probably partnered with somebody or done a focus group. And three, I want it to not just be my voice that's reflected, but that you're having an opportunity to grade the rollout of this program as well. All right. So the next point of this program is on redemption. Y'all, these points, one document says they do expire. Another document says they don't expire if certain actions are taken. Which is it? Do they expire or don't they? So here's what they say. They say that points expire, and points expire on a rolling 12-month period. So your status can change throughout the year, which is the absolute worst kind of program from an administration standpoint and from a tracking standpoint. Because the way rolling 12-month programs work is, let's say in April, I make a purchase. All right? And that purchase qualifies me for the loyalist level. Let's just go all in. One purchase, maybe it's a great sale, whatever it is, I'm a loyalist. That, on a rolling 12-month period, that means that April of next year, right, full calendar, my status then expires. My level has now expired because maybe I only spent $250 on the back half of the year. So my loyalist point have expired, and now my status will change because the back half of the year is what I have. So I only will get credit for 250 points. And again, y'all, I want you to understand, I'm reading from the terms and agreements on the site. And as I move on, so terms and agreements, but there was also there were some documents. There was a term and agreements document that was on the site that launched day one. And let me tell you, it was a hot ass train wreck. And I took screenshots of it. And I'm going to post some of those on my Instagram, but I'm going to also mention them here. They have since updated the site and changed some of those things and taken some of those things out. But I took screenshots from the very first day of the launch when the information was first available because somebody didn't edit it. There were still holes. And let me get back to this. All right. So let me give you a program comparison. All right. So Sephora, regardless of when you enroll it as a beauty insider or join, the program runs from January 1 to December 31 every year. It doesn't matter when you join. You can join on December 31st and your program is going to start over on January 1st. They run it as a calendar year. Dooney is rolling it on a 12-month rolling period, so it's 12 months from whenever you enroll, and then it's constantly changing based on whenever you made your last purchase in the most recent 12 months. So with Sephora, your point status is applicable for the year that you enroll and earn your status and the next year. Let me give you an example. So I'm a VIB Rouge with Sephora. I qualified in July, I think, of last year, which meant at that point I had already spent the the dollar amount for Rouge, which is $1,000. So at that point last year, I qualified for Rouge. I enjoyed Rouge benefits through the balance of 2019, and I have Rouge status through 2020. Now, in order to keep Rouge status in 2021, I must satisfy the qualifier in 2020, which is another $1,000 spend, in order to be Rouge in 2021. And at what point, whichever point, which is likely going to be this month, that I spend, my spending with Sephora hits $1,000, then at that point, I'm locked into Rouge through the end of the next calendar year, because you meet the qualifier and then it's for the following year. So as long as I continue to do that, my status will stay as a VIB Rouge member. All right, so with that whole rolling example of them saying points will expire on a rolling 12-month period, that means that if you qualify for Loyalist, let's just say during the 12 days of Dooney in December, how does that work? So I guess you would have it until the next year because it's within the 12 months. But if you don't spend in the next So you keep your status and the benefits for the current year with Sephora, and then the next year, while you're qualifying, you have it. You have that status. But Dooney's is a rolling 12 months. So if you start in April, then next April you would have to qualify again. And if you don't, you lose your status. In theory. All right. Sephora points do not expire. Once you earn them, they are yours on your account for as long as you have activity, that is either purchase activity or redemption activity during that 12-month period. So as long as I do something with my Sephora account during a 12-month period, my points will forever remain active. So you can bank them. You can earn thousands of points with Sephora, and some of their rewards programs reflect that, like hundreds of thousands of points for these different experiences and so forth, but you can continue to bank them. It's not clear with Dooney because after 12 months, it says you start over in one place. All right. So, let's train wreck. Let's grade it. Hit the thumbs up while you're waiting, please. There are 36 of you that are hanging out. I greatly appreciate you hitting the thumbs up. Whether you agree with my review of the program or not, I would appreciate your participation. Wait a minute. Did I just see Sus changed her grade to a C? What? All right. So, for Dooney, if I am an insider, or y'all, I hadn't even committed to memory because it is such a train wreck. It's not even worth. Okay, so if you become an ambassador and for 12 months you go without earning any points, what happens then? Let me know. Okay, it's not clear. All right. So, here we go. If you want to follow along for some of these now, I've got them marked where you can find them in the actual terms and conditions. So number 4 is a section on redeeming points, and it shows that redeeming points is contradicted itself in the terms and conditions because it says that you cannot redeem points when you pay using Dooney Pay, Apple Pay, or PayPal. So which is it? Can I use my points when I'm using Dooney Pay or no? One place it says you can, if you look in the FAQs, if you look at the actual terms and conditions, which is what is used legally to guide the program, because this isn't considered a contract. But in one place, the FAQs, which is what your customers will likely review, it says that you can. The attorney in me wants to know the nuts and bolts of it. So I want to know here, it says that you cannot redeem when you pay with Dooney Pay, use Apple Pay, or PayPal to tender your transaction. Let's just grade that piece right there. Let's just grade just that one in itself on redeeming points, which contradicts itself from the FAQs to the terms and conditions. Which one is it? Somebody in legal, somebody in marketing, they should have been in the same room, sitting, walking line by line between these documents to make sure that they were in agreement. Let me tell you, a L2 law school student should have been, not should, a L2 can do what I'm talking about right now. Can look at 2 contracts, 2 groups of terms and conditions, look at FAQs and the terms and conditions, and be able to find the discrepancies. All right. So, these birthday rewards. I know some of you have gotten them. I have been with some of you when you spent your birthday rewards. I've never gotten one. And I like to consider myself an influencer for Dooney and Bourke. They may not like it, but good, bad, or indifferent, I know, I don't know. I believe, and I believe what you tell me when you make or don't make a purchase based on the discussions that we have here. And according to YouTube, that's what makes me an influencer. So let's talk about these birthday rewards that I have never received. All right. So, birthday rewards, you will only get, let me say that again. Birthday rewards, you will only get a birthday reward if you have made at least one registered purchase to your account in the 12 months prior to your birthday. So if you are thinking, oh, I'm going to make one Dooney and Bourke purchase, I'm going to wait and hold out until I get my birthday reward, and that's going to be my purchase, baby, no, you won't. Because if you don't make at least one purchase every 12 months prior to your birthday, you're not getting it. Let's say you don't even learn about this program because you've been living under a rock, or you don't follow social media, or you don't watch these lives, but you happen to explore and find Dooney because you were at an outlet mall and you are shopping because it is your birthday, baby. You are out enjoying the sunshine, buying your own birthday gifts, and the essay says to you, would you like to provide us with your birthday for a birthday reward? And you say, absolutely, because today is my birthday. Great. We're going to go ahead and add your email address and your birthday to our list. And next year for your birthday, yeah, I said it. Next year for your birthday, you'll be eligible for a birthday reward if you make another purchase within 12 months, because 12 months, as soon as you move from your birth date, you have already entered that period of needing to make one more purchase registered to your account within 12 months prior to your birthday. Otherwise, you get your birthday reward next year. Y'all, that's not how Sephora works. That's not how Ulta works. It doesn't matter whether you join in January, June, or December the 15th. When they get your birthday, they email it to you and you can go in and redeem it. Let's grade it. Kim said a Z. Like it can't get no damn worse than that. We're gonna create a new scale. I am loving it. Alright. Okay. So um do know that you can have your account canceled for abuse related to buying, returning, and redemption. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Not sure how they're going to administer it except for these negative account balances. But if you are, one buying, returning, swapping, price matching, adjusting, redeeming, buying, returning, then you can have your account canceled. Now, for me, I got excited about this because maybe it will minimize the number of returns that we get sent out to us as new. But it's at their sole discretion as to whether or not they cancel your account. And probably after this live, my 150 points will be gone because I read the terms and conditions. But all right, so the example that they provide in the program tiers section of the terms and conditions implies, it supports the language. Read that example. It supports a point rollover. It's in the agreement language. I'm not making it up. That section is different from what it has in other language related to the same topic in the terms and conditions. So again, I don't know whether you get to roll points over, whether they don't. Is it 12 months? Is it 12 months from your last purchase? Is it y'all, child, please? I don't know. All right. So remember I told you that I have a purchase pending in my cart right now? Well, that was the only way I was able to find out what my unicorn points translated into. Y'all, I need to get this out of my system because I tell you, y'all have worn me out with these questions and my thoughts on it. And baby, when I got into it, I felt the Hulk welling up in my spirit when I saw this. So before I go into this, because some of you may or may not have seen this already, but this I'm pretty sure this is the reason why most loyalty programs are not redeemable for cash and they state no cash value. I'm pretty sure these 5 buckets that I'm getting ready to give you are the reason why, because it just infuriated me to see the value of my unicorn points. So, for 100 points, you get $6 off. I didn't stutter. You heard me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6 off. Not $5, not $10, $6. All right, for 200 points, you get $12 off. 200 points, $12. 300 points, $18 off. 400 points, $24 off. 500 points, $30 off. There are some bags right now that if you use the Save 30, your discount is worth more than what your point values are. So I'm going to go through them again. But again, I'm going to reiterate that I'm pretty sure, because these dollar amounts insulted me. But I'm pretty sure this is the reason why most loyalty programs do not have a cash redemption value for them. 100 points, $6. Let's talk about it in terms of a discount. Let's do it that way, right? 100 points is a $6 discount. 200 points is a $12 discount. 300 points is an $18 discount. 400 points is a $24 discount. And 500 points is a $30 off discount. Let me see them. Show your cards. Let me see. What are we working with right now? Is it anybody else that blood seemed to curdle when you heard me say 100 points is a $6 discount? Sons, is that a middle finger? I'm in love with you all over again, sons. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Y'all, I love Sus. Do you hear me? I want you to see my face when I say this. I love her. I love her. All right. Nowhere does it address how the loyalty program interacts with the trade-in program. How does that work? Like if I send a bag in for trade and I have a dollar amount available for trade and I also have unicorn dollars to spend, can I use those together? I mean, because these are two major Dooney programs. Somebody in some department should have thought to say, do we want people to be able to use these together or no? Right? Or no? And if it's no, we're not going to let them do that, then state that those are two separate programs and that purchases cannot, that you can only use one promotional value or whatever at a time. But nowhere in the document does it say it. Read it for yourself. I guarantee you that at some point, somebody's going to have a question, there's going to be an issue, or they're going to update the documents, and they are going to let us know that likely you're not going to be able to use it in the trade-in program. They should, but just given the details that I have gone through on this already, it's probably not very likely that it's going to happen. All right. So, I'm going to put a pause there, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to just kind of digest your thoughts, because what I reviewed with you thus far is actually what is currently posted on in the terms and conditions. right? Except my final question was, how does the loyalty program and the trade-in program work? Can you use both of them at the same time? What I am going to post now, because it is hilarious to me. I'm going to go on Instagram, so if you are not following me there, you need to follow me there. I am going to post, let me get into, come on, get into my screenshots here. Screenshots will mess you up. All right, so I'm going to put, you know what? Let me, hold on. It's going to let me, because I don't want you to miss it. I'm going to, all right, here we go. This is hilarious to me. Okay, I'm gonna mark this. Y'all, I didn't create this. I don't have time to do stuff like this. This is from the original documents that were posted on their site. I'm going to post this on Instagram. Uh-oh. No. Share in my feed. I was going to send it as a DM. That's not what you want to do. All right. And okay. So, here's what I want you to do. When you see it posted on Instagram in the comments, I want you on Instagram to just say, "Hi, Katie," Katy. And when I tell you what it is in the comments on the live, or if you're watching on the replay, I just want everybody to say hi to Katie. Because Katie evidently is the person that was responsible for making the decision on whether or not point purchase amounts are going to be rounded up or down. So, for example, if your purchase is $200.50, do you get point values only for $200, meaning round down, or do you get points for 201? Are they going to round it up? As you can tell, the original document posted when they first launched the program under Section 3, which is the earning points, and it's not out there anymore. But this is what it says in subsection B. It says earning points for purchases. Members earn points for each dollar spent on the purchase of qualifying products in qualifying transactions. The number of points a member earns depends on the tier level per section 5 below. Purchase amounts are rounded up, ? Down, ? Katie determining to the next dollar increment. So everybody speak to Katie when y'all see it on Instagram and in the comments. Just say hi, Katie, Katy, because we want her to know we appreciate her making a decision. Although it's not reflected on the documents that are there now. We have no clue how it's going to be rounded. But I just want everybody to say hi to Katie because I'm sure they worried the shit out of her trying to get an answer to that. And somebody posted the wrong one with the annotation still in it. I thought I was going to die when I saw it. I was like, yep, screenshot. Poor Katie. Hi, Katie. Y'all spell it the way it's spelled in the internal document, Katy. Drop a comment in the chat. Leave a comment on Instagram. If you're watching on the replay, just say, hi, Katie. Because we appreciate you, Katie. I am sure that they have, you probably were asking for some of the very things that we are talking about and grading in here, and somebody probably shot you down So we're going to let this be ammunition, and we want you to know that we are with you. We are with you. Hey, Katie. All right. So I, it does not take much to tickle me at all. Alright, so we are almost done. I promise you we are getting there. Alright. So, um, in the exclusions, purchases made prior, my Instagram is at Dooney Addict 615. So in the exclusions, purchases made prior to enrolling in the program. Hey, Mocha Cream, if you're not watching, I'm doing a live, and I know I'm supposed to be on Dr. Dennis Gross here, I think now, maybe for a master class, but I'm wrapping it up. I'm going to sign in. So in the exclusions, purchases made prior to enrolling in the program are not eligible for points, but my question is, if you already have an account and you were automatically enrolled, again, and these were in the very first documents because this was not answered there either, did you get credit for purchases made back to February? Because according to the terms and conditions, that is when this program went into effect. That's when the terms and conditions are dated, as opposed to saying it went into effect on April 15th or it will go into effect on May 1 or April 30th. They used a retro date, February. So as the consumer, since I didn't get a chance to enroll, I didn't have an opportunity to opt out. They said you gonna be in it. Will y'all at least give me points for my purchases back to February since y'all picked the date? I'm just asking. Somebody let me know. But I'm not calling to ask because it's not, my time is worth more than $6 for 100 points. I'm sorry. All right. So, next, there is language in the terms, again, these originals, and I believe it's still in the current terms and conditions that are on the site, but it talks in terms about making a modification to an order will change your points. Making a modification to an order will change the assessed points. That implies that making a modification to an order that you've already submitted is possible. When has anyone been able to modify a Dooney or an ILD purchase? I'll wait. I'm curious because if it was on sale, not on sale yesterday, and you made a purchase and it's on sale today, you don't get a price adjustment. If you've already placed an order and now you don't want it to come because maybe it's on sale someplace else, or you just finally, come to your senses, you can't cancel it. You have to wait for it to arrive and then ship it back. So what in the hell is a order modification? Somebody? Anybody? Somebody tell me what that is. Nothing? I didn't see anything come in. I didn't come up with anything either. But it's in the language, and when you say that a modification will change the points, then to me that implies that modifications are possible. Now, we did talk about when we did the survey many moons ago that you should be able to get some kind of price adjustment or cancel an order, because Lord knows they don't ship out the same day or the next day, or in many cases the day after. So you should be able to say, you know what, I don't want it anymore, and cancel it, but you can't. So you can't modify it. So why would a modification change the value? All right. Points for orders are not recorded as earned until your order ships. So if you're ordering on .com and then you go over to ILD, you know how we do. We're price matching. We're shopping both sides. We're looking to see who's got the better deal or the best promotion or whatever. But let's say you order on .com first. You know what? Let's reverse it, because let's face it, ILD has had the better promotions as of late. If you order on ILD and then you place an order on .com, your points from your ILD order are not going to show as redeemable when you make your .com purchase, because remember, they have up to 72 hours to record your purchase, and your points are not considered earned. They're actually in a pending status until your order actually ships. Mm-hmm. So you've taken the money out my account. I've agreed to that because I've processed the transaction. You don't know whether you're going to ship it or not. So my points aren't available to me in the event that I decide to make a purchase on the app or another format, or maybe I'm buying one bag while I'm sitting in the car at the outlets because they don't have it, and then I'm going in the store and I want to be able to make a purchase in there. Or maybe I go in, let me reverse it, because you can't redeem in store. I go into the outlet, I make a purchase. They don't have one of the bags that I was hoping to find at the outlet. So then I get in the car and I want to make that purchase. But those points that I just earned from my in-store purchase, they have up to 3 days to post those. And then if I make a purchase online, those points are not considered redeemable until my actual order ships. All right. Next, there's language in the terms and conditions that talks about if you have a dispute related to your points, trying to reconcile your points. And what they say is that they will make reasonable efforts to investigate. I'm sorry, I'm gonna finish reading it. Straight face. They will make reasonable efforts to investigate. Their words, not mine. Y'all, there was my team gave me a gift card for a Dooney gift card. They ordered it because you can't just walk into Walgreens and go to the gift card kiosk and purchase a Dooney and Bourke gift card. They actually had to order the gift card. Got the gift card, loaded it so that I could shop during the 12 days of Dooney to buy my Christmas gift from my team at work. I placed the order, and the same day a sale code starts. Like within an hour of me of completing the transaction. So I called customer service to make a modification because it didn't say this sale starts at 5 p.m. It said sale date starting, let's just say February 1 to February 10th or whatever the dates were. That this was before they stopped putting the dates for a sale or a promotion code, which I think they should go back and do. And if you think they should indicate when a sale is going to end, because they've stopped doing that, please leave a comment, drop it in, in the chat if you believe that they should indicate when the sale is going to end. I mean, Macy's does it, Dillard's does it, Sephora gives dates for its sale, Ulta gives them for the 21 days of beauty. Michael Kors will let you know when a sale is going to end or when a new promotion is going to begin. I just think that instead of me guessing on whether or not I can take advantage of this sale or this price for multiples. Just go back to indicating the date of when the promotion is going to end. So if you agree, just write the word date, DATE, in the chat. All right. So I called customer service, sat on hold, because that's what you're going to have to do if you're disputing your point value. You got to call in and you got to wait on hold and hope that somebody is going to make reasonable efforts to investigate whatever it is you're calling about. But don't hold your breath, because the customer service rep agreed that the sale promotion should apply to my purchase. She sent it, she said it had to be escalated to the resolution department, I think is what she called it. To me, when I call customer service, they are the resolution department. But I get it, she had to escalate it. And that the price of the purchase was going to be adjusted based on the promotion that started the same day. Did y'all get my adjustment? Because if so, I want it back, because I haven't seen an adjustment. I haven't seen a credit back to my card. I haven't seen the amount go back on the gift card. Nothing. So you can play around with these points and waste your time over $6 if you want to. But I'm just not. I'm just not. It's not worth it to me. So now that we've had an opportunity to talk to Katie, and she knows now that we appreciate her, I'm gonna see what y'all have going on in the chat. Let's see if I can get it to come back up. So overall, how would you grade it? And I'll just go on record and say, you know what? I do believe that Dooney has overcomplicated this program in its language. They could have very easily, because every website that has a loyalty program has the ins and outs of their document spelled out. Dooney could have very easily taken a well-respected program that's out there from any industry and that was well written and well utilized and loved by consumers, and modified that in order to be their the design for their program. But instead, it appears that they started from scratch. And bravo for the attempt. You get an A for effort. You get an F for listening, because it took way too long to roll it out. But overall, I'd like to see how you rate the program, and then I am going to share with you what my rating is of this program, and offer for Dooney to contact me or anybody else in this community for feedback, to participate in a focus group, to find out what we like about other programs, what we think needs to be different, because I think the grades are pretty clear that this was not an A effort. It's not being received as an A. And hey, I'm going to say this on this at this point. If I got it wrong, I'm going to blame the documents, because they say one thing in one place and one in another, and the FAQs say one, and then I'm auto enrolled in another, and you can use Dooney Pay in one place, and then one place you can. And so if I've gotten it wrong, I own that I got it wrong, but I got it wrong based on their documents and what they put out to be the governing rules for this program. So I'm gonna just let me get the chat pulled. It keeps disappearing on me. I am going to write my grade for this program on paper. And I don't know if this is a real grade, because I don't play in this ballpark. But I've asked you to grade it, right? Asked you to grade it all throughout. So I'm going to give my grade of it, and I am going to give it the plus because it is a start. It is a start. But I would have preferred to see something like this. I would have preferred to see, I can take my 100 points and receive a 5% discount, or I can cash in 250 points for a 10% discount that I can use anytime, right? Particularly when there's not something that's on sale. Or I could accumulate my points, and at 500 points, I could get a 15% discount. Or maybe it's a 10, 15, and 20. Yeah, let's do that instead. 10, 15, 20, because usually they'll give us at least one 20% discount throughout the year, even if it's at the beginning of a season. So I can take my 100 points and cash them in for a code to get a 10% discount off of my purchase. Or at 15, if I want 15%, then I get cash in 250 of my points, and that value, of course, fluctuates depending on what I'm purchasing and the value, right, of it. And then 500 points, I get to use a 20% off code. But come on, $6? $6? Some states, that doesn't even cover the tax on a Dooney purchase. So y'all play with your unicorn money, and good luck trying to keep track of it, because I have more questions about Dooney as a brand and their customer service as a result of reading the details of this than I ever have. I want to know about modifications. I want to know who's keeping up with the 365-day rolling calendar. I want to know what system they are using to track these social media platforms and award points. I want to know who determined that it was going to be effective in February, but we're not going to roll it out until April. I have questions. I have questions. And if I would love for somebody to give me the information so that I can share it on this platform, because y'all know I'm unfiltered. Y'all know that if it's good, I'm gonna share it, and you will be able to read it on my face. If it is hogwash or confusing or BS, my face does not lie. I do not have a poker face. And if I've got questions, then you can see the question mark on my face. And I have questions based on the time that I have spent deep diving the documents that they have posted on this program. So now I need to decide if I'm going to make this purchase. And it has nothing to do with the loyalty program, but I did need to purge my spirit and get this out of my spirit before I made my purchase. And it's more about the 30% discount than anything, because trust and believe, these little $6 points and so on and so forth, that isn't going to mean a hill of beans difference. And considering I don't know if I can use my $6 using Dooney Pay or not, because one place it says yes, the other place it says no. I'm not even about to get bogged down in trying to take care of those logistics on this purchase, nor will I call and ask for them to reasonably investigate on whether or not I should have been able to use Dooney Pay, or whether or not I should have been able to redeem my points. So you heard it here. I appreciate the dozen of you for reaching out to me in all different ways at all different times. to ask me, to tell me, to see if there was going to be a sip and cuss, because some of you were already at first glance with me on this is not the caliber that we were expecting for a first attempt. But you've heard it here directly from me, and I'm going to give it an F plus because I do believe that it has the potential to become an A plus program. It's got the structure, right? They have a loose structure, but it needs to evolve. So, if you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure that you go over on to Instagram. Check me out over there. Make sure that you say hi to Katie. And I will be back tomorrow evening for hashtag Feed Your Addiction. Thank you so very much for watching. Until next time, take care.